real life, this was one big muscle here. This muscle here is the latissimus dorsi. It had to be transected so that we can see beneath it, underneath it. So we can move that up. In humans, the trapezius muscle is one big muscle. In cats, it's taken into three parts. It's taken into a spinotrapezius, which is this little triangle here, kind of overlaps the latissimus dorsi. Then you have the acromiotrapezius, which is here, by the acromion process of the scapula. And then up here we have the clavotrapezius. Clavo means clavicle. Now, I want you to notice this muscle here is one long strip, but it has three different names depending upon where it is. So it has clavotrapezius up here in the neck. On the shoulder, it's clavodeltoid, and on the arm, it's clavobrachialis. All clavo, but just the location will change the name. So we had three parts to the trapezius. Now we have the deltoid. Again, humans have a deltoid of one part. That's the part here. Cats have it in three. Okay. This part here is called spinodeltoid, and the spinodeltoid on these cats will always be cut because underneath it is another muscle that we got to see. Okay. So spinodeltoid, acromiodeltoid, and clavodeltoid. So we have the same names, the same prefixes as the trapezius ones. Right? It was spino, acromio, clavo. Just different here. Spino, acromio, clavo for the deltoid. Now, in cats, for the most part, it's about 90% of the time, major muscles are smaller than minor muscles. Okay? In humans, majors, you expect like pectorals major to be bigger than minor. But in cats, it's the opposite. With very few exceptions, and one of the exceptions right now is this muscle here. Right underneath here, I don't know if you can see it, but if someone else has a glove, they can help me with this. Right here. This is called teres major. Teres, T-E-R-E-S, means true. So this is a true major. Teres minor is the one that was behind the spinodeltoid. That's the smaller one.
So that's how you remember teres?
Teres means true. That's true major. Okay. All right. This muscle here has little fingers, it looks like. It's like a fan. Some people have called this a muscle that looks serrated, like a serrated edge. In cats, it's called serratus ventralis. In humans, it would be called serratus anterior. Same muscle. Okay? It actually begins behind the scapula, but it ends here. Now, here's behind the scapula. We have a couple of muscles. We have to see. The first one here is rhomboideus capitis. It goes to the head. That's how we get the name capitis. Nice, long, thin one. This big one is rhomboideus minor, because it's the big one. Rhomboideus major is the one next to it. It's the smaller one. All right? And this back here, this little piece, that's that beginning of the serratus ventralis over here. Okay. Now, talking about the scapula, if you remember from the scapula, the posterior part of the scapula has a spine. Remember the spine ends the acromion process? Okay. Above the spine, if you recall, there was a supraspinous fossa. Beneath the spine, there was an infraspinous fossa. The muscles that are in those fossa have the same name. So once you feel the spine, above the spine is supraspinatus, and beneath the spine is infraspinatus in those fossa. Okay? On the deep side of the scapula, here, that is in the subscapular fossa, so this is called subscapularis. Okay, so those muscles are easy to remember because they're in those fossa names. All right. Another muscle that we haven't yet talked about is this guy here, the Pull him up. This guy right here. Okay. This guy is called levator scapulae because when you contract it, it lifts the scapula up, elevates it. So it's levator scapulae. Okay. So that is the musculature on the dorsal side. Some other structures here that you should be aware of is this white-looking string. That is the spinal accessory nerve. Comes from the brain, goes to the trapezius muscles. So that's that one. And in here, there's another muscle, another nerve. This white thing right here, and that's called the axillary nerve. Okay. In these cats, nerves will look like white string. Arteries will look pink, and veins will look blue. Now, that's in the perfect world. You know, sometimes the veins may explode during the processing, and you know there may be blue stuff all over the place. Sometimes the dye doesn't get all the way down to the end of each artery, so it may lose its color. But for the most part, if you look for that, that'll be okay. Now, if we look at the ventral surface, these are what we call our pectoral muscles. Okay, remember, you know, in humans we have this nice big pectoralis major muscle, which we'll find out about that in lecture on Monday. And there's a smaller pectoralis minor underneath that. Here, remember, majors are smaller. The first one, this long strip, is called pecto antebrachialis. Pecto in the pectoral group, anti means in front of, and brachialis is the arm. So it's the pectoral muscle in front of the arm. Okay. Underneath, the next one is a smaller one, which is pectoralis major. Then there's pectoralis minor next to it. It's a bigger one. And then coming from there, the next one after that is one called xiphi humoralis, which looks like it was destroyed. But here's the beginning of it. It starts at the xiphoid process and goes all the way up here. So that's why it's called xiphi humoralis. It's going to the humerus. Okay. And that is...
Sorry, can you repeat that? My camera stopped and I want to know what that is.
Pecto antebrachialis.
Yeah.
Pectoralis major. Pectoralis minor is the bigger one. And this piece here, which would normally go up to here, is xiphi humoralis because it goes from the xiphoid process to the humerus, and it was just cut. So it would have been there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yours is perfect.
Any other questions? If you want to put this on YouTube,
No.
you can. It'll cost you some money because my contract says, you know, my agent says that I can't be put on YouTube. All right? Go to it. Get to work.
Thank you.